Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the Flip Side Podcast. I'm your host, Retro Ralph, and you are here right now live with Cale from Electric Bat.
Right, in the Electric Bat arcade.
Yeah, in the arcade. I know. How cool is this, man?
This is great. I have never done this before, but I've wanted to do it for years because, as you know, when you came in here, there's a big stage, right? And a lot of bands come through here, and this is where they do podcasts. So,
cool.
Finally, I have my time.
Your time to shine, Cale.
This is great, yeah.
So I will put some B-roll content in so they can see the rest of the bar.
Good.
So if you guys don't know, actually, you know what? I need to ask you.
Mm-hmm.
In your podcast, you introduce yourself, and you and Rachel, as the Click and Clack. So who's Click and who's Clack? Because I'm trying to figure, or is it just...
I think she's Click and I'm Clack.
Okay, all right. All right, I'm glad we got that. So from my viewpoint, Electric Bat is kind of a big deal.
Thank you.
Everyone knows. I watch videos of some creator out in Europe, and he's wearing an Electric Bat shirt.
Wow.
You know what I mean? So I feel like the brand, is big now, and I think that's because you're the social media guy, right?
Rachel has a lot to do with that, especially initially with the shirts. She designed the logo, and she used to go around to all of the conferences and give the shirts to some key players.
All right.
You know, that's why you'd see like Keith Elwin wearing it, Jack Danger, and having it on his stream. So you can't give me all the credit for the notoriety. Yeah,
you get some.
Yeah.
All right. So for those that don't know who you are, Cale, just kind of give me a quick introduction. I obviously do, but just for everyone out there.
Okay. I got into the pinball biz working at Marco Specialty. A lot of people think Marco is in not California, but Chicago. And it's really not. It's in a very rural area of South Carolina where I grew up.
Okay.
And so, long story short, I started working there as doing customer service and graphic design. Started touring with them and Stern, promoting Marco products and Stern products. And that's where I met Rachel.
Okay. Ooh, a little love story.
A little love story. We met on Zoom, and for me it was love at first sight. I took her a little. I had to convince her a little. I know. Can you believe it?
Come on, you're so likable, Cale. Really? You had to convince her? Okay.
So anyway,
may I ask what you had to do? What was the convincing?
No, just hanging out on the road and us getting to know each other. And so within 3 weeks of us meeting, I think we got married.
Oh, no way. Okay, I didn't know that.
It was instant.
Wow, that's crazy.
Right.
Okay.
And then, I unfortunately, and I miss my family at Marco, but we still keep in touch. But I left Marco in South Carolina to move here to Arizona. And Rachel had already opened up Electric Bat. But it was only this first room that we're in.
It was just this small. And the first time I went, it was just this space.
Yes. Yeah. This is it. There was just this space and, maybe 14 machines.
Yeah.
And some video games. And then we broke into the next room. And then as of, I think 2 years ago, we broke into the monster room where we can have the big tournaments.
Yeah. And I came for one. I didn't get to play in it. And I was so impressed by, it's just, it's really cool because I kind of feel like I fell into pinball about 3 years ago, and my feeling at that time was that, oh man, it's going to be hard to build a community. And then when I fast forward and I come here, and you guys, it just keeps getting bigger.
Yeah,
it's pretty awesome. You're going to outgrow this place probably. At some
point.
We
will. We'll have to take over the Circle K next door, which we actually try to do, but we can't do that. And this is more about community than pinball. It really is. Seeing friends, hanging out with people, staying away from the phone or whatever, and worrying about news and current events, and just getting lost in hanging out with all of these awesome people that we see right now. That's what it's really about, building this community. And that's what arcades were originally about.
Yeah.
Meeting, that's where your friends are going to be.
That's where you hung out.
And meeting up with them and hanging out all night long. And that's what we're trying to recreate, that feel of the 70s, 80s, and 90s right here.
Yeah, and I feel like, that I feel that the first time I came in here. I was like, wow, this feels, because it's got a little bit of a like seedy vibe, but not like seedy disgusting. You know what I mean? Like it has that old arcade feel. That it's kind of dark in here. Like
Yes.
when Cale met me at the front, I couldn't even see him. He was just this voice that was just traveling in the dark. I'm like, hey man, is that you?
It's like Slender Man. Yeah.
So, yeah, exactly. So yeah, I feel like if you're ever in town and you want to check out a place that's really built a good community, Tuesday nights you guys do the tournaments,
Yeah.
and then
Tuesday nights at 6:30.
Yeah.
We do not miss a Tuesday night. No matter if it's a holiday or every Tuesday night we have a tournament.
all right. Well, okay. So obviously, Cale, I came down here not because I just don't want to hang out. I want to hang out with Cale.
Right.
But the last couple of weeks have been pretty big in pinball. Like there's been some big new. You know, it's always a little slow in the summer, and then just bam.
Yes.
2 big things dropped at almost the same time.
Right.
And I don't know what sequence we want to really talk about them. I'll leave that up to you, actually.
Uh-huh.
But you got a chance to go out to Chicago.
Yep.
And the main point of that trip was to go out with Jersey Jack to see Avatar.
Sure, yep.
But the week prior, that's when X-Men got announced, and they showed the trailer for it.
Certainly.
Did a gameplay live stream. So you were kind of in the mix of all that because
Right.
you did get a chance to go over to Stern.
Right.
So I'm kind of excited because I'm not really a Jersey Jack fan, not because they don't make a good product. It's just there hasn't been something that they've made yet that I want to like add to my personal collection.
Sure.
But I've enjoyed the games on site, so I kind of want to start. If you're cool with it, I kind of want to start with Avatar because
I was going to do that.
Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
yeah.
All right. I just told you could, and then I told you what to do. Like, what a dick.
Yeah, okay, so I was invited to a media mixer at Jersey Jack, and I think this is the first one they've done. They're emulating what Stern did,
Right.
the trip we went on, and it was basically the same thing. Tour of the factory. Let's meet up in the conference room, talk about the game.
Yeah.
Meet all of the designers, all of the mechanical engineers, and then most importantly, play the game.
Yeah.
Right. So we all started. I think we started out like playing the game. We went into.
Oh, you went straight to playing the game? Like they didn't do
I think-
the tour
well,
first?
Well, it was there. I'm trying to remember the sequence of events, but the 4 games were there. So
Okay.
and they're back to LE and CE
Okay.
on Elton John. It was like, kind of like the record industry. Like one was platinum and one was something or gold. I don't know. Anyway, but now they're back to LE and CE.
Okay.
So we did it. We did a short tour, and it was cool. And it was, I mean, you're seeing a lot of the same kind of assembly line stuff we saw at Stern.
Yeah.
But it was very cool. Very cool to see all that. Then we got to play it.
Okay.
This thing, just like all of Jersey Jack's games, this thing is beautiful.
I mean, it looked, when I was watching the trailer, I mean, it was very clear. The one thing I think it's worth mentioning is Jersey Jack's, the development time is much longer than Stern.
Yeah, I think this.
I think it's like a 3-year project or something, or,
Yeah,
or 2 or 3,
This
right?
took at least twice as long.
Yeah.
I think they mentioned this was like a 2-year project.
Okay, I don't know where I heard 3 somewhere. That might be wrong, but
Right.
but a lot longer than, like, probably double the time of a Stern game in development, or close to that.
Right, for sure. So you want to get into the gameplay, or what do you think?
Well, because there's so many things that I saw that I was like, because the one thing me being like somewhat newer, right? 3 years, I don't have a lot of and I'm going back and starting to, even when I come here, it's cool because you guys have a lot of the older games weaved in, so I can
Right,
kind of experience those. And then
yeah.
when I go to Expo, but the thing I'm always looking for is like these new games come out, and I'm looking for like what innovative thing did they do?
Yeah.
And there were a couple things. I mean, I would like you to mention them, but like the single hand thing, like that's some cool stuff.
Yeah.
But I didn't play it, so it sounded cool.
What is
it
the
cool?
single? I missed that. The single
Oh,
hand
really?
thing.
Oh, there's like a thing where the game is forcing you to play with one flipper.
Only a left flipper.
Yeah.
Yes, that's
Okay.
right. I did not get to that mode somehow.
no, okay.
But I watched people play that, so
Okay.
I totally forgot about that. That was interesting.
But that's never been done before, right? Has it?
Well, in Rick and Morty, there's a mode that's kind of similar.
Okay.
But I think it's like you only get so many shots with the left flipper.
Okay.
With this one, you can only use the left flipper, and if you hit the right flipper,
You like forfeit a bonus, right, or something, or you
Yeah.
forfeit your points.
right. Yeah. So that's a little different. I don't think anyone's pulled off anything exactly like this. But the game is very, very cool. I saw some mechs that I have yet to see. One of the coolest mechs is a girl named, and I wish I could remember her last name. It's like Rachel. You'll add it on the lower third.
We'll fill it up.
But Rachel was their mechanical engineer, and she was out because I was very interested in some of these mechs and how they worked. But there's this one mech in the game, and I don't know if you saw it in the video. So it's a flat rectangular plate.
Okay.
To the left of the right ramp.
Okay.
And so in photos and videos, you can miss this thing. I've never seen anything like this. So you have your one ball path, and straight over that metal plate, that's one ball path.
Okay.
It pops up and becomes a scoop that takes the ball into the lower play field.
Okay.
So there's your another ball path, and then it pops up and becomes a jump ramp. So it pops up the complete opposite. Right.
Kind of like what they did in Toy Story 4, that. Like, do you launching the ball off of it, or what do you?
Well, yes, it's as a jump ramp.
It becomes part of a. Okay.
Yeah, but also unlike Toy Story 4, it pops up this way, and then the ball goes underneath the play field. Yeah, they did some really interesting stuff there. And I was asking Rachel if I could, look under the hood and see how this thing worked. But we didn't get. She said I would love to show you, but we didn't get a chance to do it.
Was that something they were not allowing you guys to do?
Or I don't think that was an issue. It was just a time
okay.
thing. Yeah, because we did the tour, and then we had to go to a private party at Interium, where I think they were showing the game in public.
That was to the public for the first time, right? Yeah.
Right. Yeah, but just like any other Jersey Jack game, the immersive world you're put into. I mean, it's beautiful with the lights, incredible artwork.
Yeah.
This is an artist who this is a first-time pinball artist, and she worked on some Hearthstone cards. Are you familiar with that?
No.
Well, that's what they were talking about. And I've seen photos of them, and they're beautiful. But this thing looks absolutely gorgeous. Right on par with any other Jersey Jack machine.
Yeah.
One of the coolest things, the use of the UV lights.
I know, when I saw that, it instantly reminded me of, in the trailer, I mean, obviously it's very much a moment in Stranger Things when that UV kicks on, and it's so cool, and it fits so well with the idea of the Upside Down and everything.
For sure.
But when I saw that, I was like, wow, because since then, we haven't really seen anybody do something like that.
Right.
But this, it looks like they did a really good job with it, but it's like the whole entire, isn't it everything on the playfield?
It's everything, but it's completely different.
Okay.
So in Stranger Things, and it's very cool, you're like, boom, all of a sudden the UV lights come on, and you're in a completely different world. In Avatar, it happens so gradually, you don't even notice it. It's simulating an eclipse.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, that's cool.
And so you're playing and don't even notice the lights go down and then the UV lights coming in. And then just all of a sudden you're like, whoa, what is going on? It feels like a real eclipse.
That's really cool.
Right.
Actually.
And not only does the playfield change, the eclipse goes across the monitor, the display.
Oh, no way.
Right. And it doesn't black it out, but it's like it's subtle, but it's dark. And one of the engineers was even talking about they're probably going to get calls that there's something wrong with from customer service. There's something going on with my monitor. Half of it's dark, but it's the eclipse. So the eclipse starts coming in.
That's pretty creative, man. I like that.
It is very cool, and they have some custom silicone rubber that was designed by Scott Denisi.
Okay.
So it's not just like this glow in the dark looking rubber. It's kind of like it has a purple hue to it.
Okay.
Yeah,
to kind of stand out more with the UV's on. Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
So this eclipse thing, that's interesting because I don't feel like in the trailer they must have accelerated the time that the eclipse happens because it kind of happens just fast.
Right. I guess to show the customer. Yeah.
But that's very cool. Yeah. I like that. See, that's the kind of stuff.
It is so subtle. Yeah.
So I wanted to ask you this because this was sort of my first take on it, and I think a lot of people are like this. I watched the movie. I've only seen the first one. I never saw the second one.
I haven't seen any of them.
Oh, really? Okay,
yeah.
So I was going to ask you, is Avatar something you're a fan of? Because it seems like when I'm looking at forums and just sort of on Pinside or just asking people,
right?
People are like, oh, yeah, I like the movie, but it's not like a repeat. It's not like something from their childhood that they want to watch a bunch of times. So even if the game is cool, they seem less interested in it. So that's an interesting, and I kind of feel like the pinball demographic is our age range. So it wouldn't be a
So
nostalgia
true.
play,
Right.
but I guess someone that's just really into Avatar, because I don't know,
Yeah.
maybe I'm alone in this, but usually a game speaks to me because there's something about that theme that I like. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like
for sure.
Godzilla. I remember watching those old movies. So like to me, I was like, oh damn, like a Godzilla game. Like that
True.
sounds awesome. I'm pointing that way
Yeah.
because Godzilla's right there. But you know, like or
Yeah.
like, oh, I like the band Rush, so therefore I'm going to be gravitating, or Foo Fighters, or
Yeah.
whatever it might be. So it'll be interesting to see like, could this, and it has happened to me before. There has been themes where I have no interest in, and then I play. Like I watched Jaws with my grandfather, but I wasn't. When Jaws came out, I was like, meh. Like I really was that way.
Yeah.
I was like, it's Jaws. And even the trailer, I was a little bit underwhelmed. And I bought it, and I freaking love it. I
Nice.
love Jaws. I
Do
really
you have
like
a
Jaws.
premium LE? Or?
I have a premium, and
Yeah.
I've like LE'd
Oh,
it,
yeah.
basically. I put the LE, like,
Nice.
yeah, I did as much as I could. But
Okay.
I love that game.
Yeah.
But the thing is, that was one where I like went against my own rule
Okay.
of like I gotta like the theme's gotta speak to me,
Right,
and I went
right.
against it. But I don't know. It'll be interesting to see how Avatar is perceived at like Expo. Is it going to be really hot, or you know?
Yeah, it's going to be a big
Yeah.
deal. I believe it's going to totally be a big deal. Because, like, with Elton John, nobody around here was excited about Elton John.
Yeah, I
Rachel,
wasn't, yeah.
Rachel doesn't like Elton John. I'm an Elton John fan. I've seen him in live twice.
Okay.
I was excited about it, but no, this is a punk bar, right? That's the vibe.
Yeah, like this doesn't this bar does not put off the Elton John vibes.
Right,
Yeah.
right. But when it came in and people started playing it, and like they started rocking to the tunes, because I mean, it's all the stuff you've heard on the radio.
Yeah, it's all like the popular songs.
And people that hate Elton John really got into the game. Yeah, so I think this is a case where the title is not going to make a huge difference to this. This is just such a very cool game to shoot and a beautiful game. Like I've never seen either movie, and I couldn't
You were
stop.
into it.
I couldn't stop playing it. Yeah.
So do you think that the reason you think it'll Expo's got probably a bad example because anything that's new, people are going to gravitate
Yes.
toward at Expo.
There's going to be lines for this thing.
But do you think that? By the way, Jersey Jack, if you do watch this, they need to bring more games. Last year they didn't bring enough Eltons, so like you
Yeah.
were waiting
Wasn't
for
there like
so
there were
long.
like 3 of them,
There was
right?
only like 3. Yeah, it took forever to play it.
Hopefully there'll be more. I know there were 4 copies in at the warehouse or the facility that we played. So they at least have those.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping they'll have more than 4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I was gonna say, so do you think you guys will get it for the?
We are getting it.
Oh, cool. Okay.
But Game Room Goodies is going to operate it.
Okay. All right.
And the reason
That's probably so. Aaron at Game Room Goodies probably wants one. And
Yeah.
He's like,
they are going to operate it, and just the reason is with the past 2 titles, we just
it's not earning enough to
it's
justify
just
the cost.
not
Yeah.
earning enough. We can very quickly pay off a Stern. Like people just pump
Yeah.
quarters into those things. Jersey Jack, as good as the games are, they don't have any kind of long tail.
They don't have the staying power that
Yeah,
some of the other
it's
games
like
do.
it's
yeah.
like 3 months at the top of the list and just slam. There's nothing.
So I want to give. So for those of you that are listening to this and you have not listened to the Batcast, which is Electric Bat's podcast, what I find fascinating about the podcast is you guys are you're players, but you're operators, and you are business owners, and you talk a lot about like how these games perform, and you even share the revenue, who's number 1 through I think you do 10 usually.
Yes, yep.
But I find that fascinating because what might be popular at home isn't necessarily always popular, and you have to think about, can I pay this off? Like, I'm not going to go buy a game for $15,000 that makes 6 and I never make money as a business. Like, that would be a
100%.
bad decision.
Yeah.
So,
Just Jersey Jacks do not own anywhere close to what Sterns do. And I brought that up in the meeting with the whole crew, with the Jersey Jack crew, and
because you were really the only bar owner that came, right?
I
Everyone
think
else was just
I
more.
think I was the only operator
Okay.
there. Yeah. But after I mentioned that, one of the people on the media side was like, he was in disbelief.
Oh, really?
He was
Okay.
like, how do Jersey Jack machines not earn? And I was like, they just don't. He's like, well, my home bar has them, and they earn incredibly well. And I know the owner of his home bar, and I was like, "Are you sure about that?"
Yeah.
I was like, "I would love to see numbers."
I need to put that meme in here. What is that? What he says? Is he, you sure about that?
Yeah,
Is that what it is?
right. No, I would love that because I love that show. So he messaged the bar owner, which I know, and it's one of the most popular arcades in California, and he verified it. He said the only Jersey Jack he has that is paid off is Waz, because it's been there for 8 years. Yeah, but it's unfortunate. They just
do you think that, I'm curious, did your conversation ever go down the path of like, why don't you guys make a pro version, whatever they would call it, a pro version of your game that's maybe a little scaled back, you know?
It did. So when I asked that question, you know, and I said, you know, just to preface, you know, there might probably some people in the room that don't know who I am. And I said, my wife and I run a very popular arcade, one of the most popular ones in the nation. We house the largest single location pinball league in the entire world. Yeah. And I lose money if I buy a Jersey Jack machine. And that's when Jack, the owner, he chimed in and said, okay, well, let me give you my personal number, 1-800-JERSEY-JACK, and I'll teach you how to operate pinball machines personally. And if that was a joke, it felt kind of flat.
Really?
Yeah,
that actually was really. Oh,
I don't think he knew who I was.
That's so weird to me. That is very weird to me, to be in the hobby and not know, not know the brand Electric Bat, like know the name Electric Bat.
And people on the media side of it were like, that's kind of disrespectful to not know who you're talking to.
It is disrespectful, and especially because you were invited to their house.
Right. Yeah. And it was, you know, just kind of like, man, if this is how little they think of me, you know, when I pump their games, you know, I rave about Godfather.
Yeah.
I rave about Elton John. And it's like, you know, hey kid, you know, give me a call and I'll teach you how to make money with pinball machines. You know, I have spreadsheets
that's a weird thing.
to prove, you know, what I can do. But anyway, it kind of like soured the whole deal, and I was like, you know what?
I wouldn't have liked that either.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you. So just to close off on this, I guess. Well, two questions. Like, did the game actually shoot well? Because I did notice something I wanted to bring up when I was watching people. Because, you know, the other influencers had posted videos, so I was watching as much as I could of people playing. Yeah. It seems like either the game is easy or the people that were playing were really good, because they were playing for a really long time. And I'm like, is it?
It depended on who was playing.
Yeah.
And there were games I had that were very short.
Okay.
And I think I had one of the longest games out of anybody when I put up that 3.7 billion. And
like,
got the
just slide that in there.
Yeah.
But no insider connected, so no one ever knows it happened.
Right.
It never happened.
And I didn't even play my extra ball. So, and it does seem that way with Jersey Jack machines. It's either feast or famine.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think, you know, this is the same company releasing this game, so I think you're going to have that same kind of feel. But that being said, balls were easily savable by a skilled player. A skilled person can have a long game on this thing.
Okay. And it shot, you felt like it shot
Man,
well?
it was cool. It had
to
very, very interesting shots.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else on the, I mean, you got a chance to hang out with some people maybe for the first time that you never hung out with?
Oh, for sure.
Was that fun?
Yeah. All the designers, all the mechanical engineers, they were all absolutely great. And of course the media side of it, that's the most fun. You know, hanging out with Kaneda. I got to meet Kaneda.
I know.
Yeah.
He's apparently a nice guy. So
he was very nice and fun to hang out with. But after this whole thing, we went to Interium, and they had a private party, and they put Avatar on the floor for the first time. And one of the coolest parts about it, I'm sitting there with Kaneda.
Okay.
Jack Danger showed up.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, Mark Seiden, who did Avatar. Yeah. And Colin was there. And so I'm just sitting there, and I think I'm the only one that's sober that doesn't drink. And so Kaneda's trying to give me shots. I'm like, no, I don't drink. But it was the best thing just sitting there, because it was like I was on a live Kaneda podcast because he's just interviewing these two designers.
Yeah,
And
but he wasn't for. He was just that's just how he was.
Yeah,
It wasn't
just-
like he was actually
no,
doing
just
it. Yeah.
chatting, and it was very cool. It's a very
Yeah,
cool experience.
that
He's,
is
he's
cool.
a good guy.
That is cool.
Yeah.
I do also think it's interesting because I was listening to George. We talked about it off the air, but that interview that he did with Kaneda, and what was interesting is they talked briefly about sort of the culture of like the old days, like the Bally Williams days versus now, and where like
Yeah.
these teams of designers were like ultra competitive, would hide things they were working on, where now, like, I mean, now you're talking about two designers from two different companies just hanging out and having a good time. And
Right.
I don't think in the past that would have happened. So we've changed a lot in how these teams operate in the company and even outside of
Yes.
the company.
Yeah, for sure.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, Jack was playing Avatar and telling Mark what a good job he did, and they were
That's cool.
stoked. Yeah,
There's
so
some like mutual respect.
Yeah,
there. That's
absolutely.
awesome. That's cool. So I was gonna, unless there's anything else, I think we should pivot over to Expo.
let's move. Let's
Okay.
do it.
So, dude, I know I'm gonna seem way more excited, but when the
you should be.
X-Men when the X-Men trailer came out, I was like, "What the f?"
Goosebumps.
Like, yes,
Look at it. Look at it.
It was so good. It was so good,
Yes,
dude. And
yes.
I texted you. I'm like, bro. I think I just said like, bro, or whatever. I didn't even. I was like,
Yes.
I think I might have said something else, but I
Yeah.
was like, this is epic.
Yes.
And then of course Aaron at Game Room Goodies is the guy I get my games from, and I know the Bat gets their games from there. But I'm like, Aaron, what do you think? He's like, dude, like I gotta get this game. So
Yeah.
so there was all this hype, right?
Right.
Then, and I'm giving you my opinion. This is how I viewed it.
Let me hear it.
Then the live stream happened,
Uh-huh.
and it felt weird for me because the hype kind of it was like leaving my body, and it wasn't because the shots weren't good and stuff. It just seemed like, from my impression, it seemed like maybe they rushed to do the live stream, and there was some stuff that wasn't really ready.
Yeah.
And then also they all had like costumes on, so it's like they can't play the best they could play.
Right.
So I was kind of bummed. I wasn't one of those people that jumped on a forum and was like, I'm canceling my order.
Yeah.
Because I have faith that the team behind it is good. And,
Sure.
and actually, toward the end of that stream, there was a little bit more of a rhythm going. And I can't remember the guy that was the tester for the game, but he probably put up the best game
Okay.
of that live
I
stream.
didn't see the live
Okay.
stream, yeah.
He put up the best game, and then I was like, oh, damn. But it's weird, too. I don't know if you can, because of the way that playfield's got so many things, you have the sentinel hands and the head. Having the camera top down, which is kind of how you sort of have to capture pinball in the live
Okay.
stream, I think maybe had they like tilted the camera a little bit,
Right.
it was hard to get the perspective. But of course, I'm still buying it.
Yeah.
I'm still hyped about it. But you got to play it.
Let me
okay.
make you feel
Okay,
better.
Bring me back,
Yeah,
man.
yeah,
Bring
yeah.
me back.
And it'd be cool, like, when Jack Danger does streams at his studio, he has the kind of belt buckle cam.
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
That's probably what we needed.
That would have been cool. Yeah.
But, he doesn't produce the stream at Stern. They have a team.
Yeah, they do their
Yeah,
own,
they have a
right?
team
He did
that does
mention
that.
that. He's like, this isn't a dead flip stream, a
Right.
couple times. More
Yeah.
because he was trying to like.
Yeah.
You saw his outfit,
Well,
right?
so yeah. So let me take you back. So
Okay,
I'm
give it
at
to me.
I'm at Jersey Jack. I've been playing Avatar all day long. Great game. Then I'm in the lobby and I take off and I go to Stern, and all the media people are still at Jersey Jack. So I go over there. I sneak in through a side door. Well, of course, I had a buddy meet me in the parking lot.
Yeah.
And so now I'm just walking through Stern. I go to there's an arcade in there. Very cool. You've been there. Yeah.
Yeah.
You've seen.
Yeah.
Like the
So has that
the
changed?
bar.
That
and
lobby
all-
area?
No, it's the same
Okay,
thing.
Okay.
But where the John Wicks were, now there was a X-Men LE
Okay.
and an X-Men Pro.
Okay.
All right, so super excited. Gomez was there, Wason, and Jack.
Okay.
And so I'm like, okay, I'm gonna play. First one I played was the Pro, and I'll tell you, after playing Avatar all day long, some people say they don't notice this. I 100% do, and I know a
Yeah.
lot of other people that do. The flipper feel. As soon as I plunged this ball on X-Men and felt these Stern flippers, I was like, I'm home again. There's no lag. You have full power. It feels so good.
Yeah.
And I know there are a lot of people online that they're thinking they will not be able to get used to the offset flippers. when you're playing, you don't
even really
notice it at all.
Yeah.
And it's not something you have to force your brain to think about. It's just, let's go.
Yeah. And it's the same. I mean, I saw someone posted it before I came here. I saw it on my phone. So there were people that were saying they thought the flipper gap was more than standard. It's the standard flipper gap. It just looks weird. I don't know. Maybe just the way it looks.
Yeah.
Your eyes are.
I mean, it's all CAD. They know exactly where it is. To the smallest measurement. Another thing, I've heard a lot of people say that they think it's going to be a drain monster. I think that's from that stream.
It was from the live stream. So in the live stream in the beginning, it just wasn't good. And if you're like someone that's not the best player and you're seeing Zach Sharp drain, you're like, like what's that going to mean for me? But it was more, I think, he had these big ass hands and he's trying to.
And Jack even said they were goofing off and having a good time and excited about the game release and they were more concentrated on a production than actually playing 100%. The game. Yeah, so it is not a drain monster at all. You have plenty time to save these balls. I was having long ball times.
Okay. Oh, good.
And the best part is when the ball goes into that danger room, it is very easily savable. I didn't lose a ball in there one time.
Oh, nice. All right.
You can trap up on that tiny flipper very easily.
Oh, no way. Okay.
And pick your shot.
Oh, cool. That's cool, actually.
Right.
I don't think they really showcased that. It looked, in the trailer, they make it look like it's super chaotic, almost like you wouldn't have got that from the trailer. So that's cool to know.
Good. Yeah. So, but I wasn't even, and this was, I was on prototype, code, and animation.
Yeah.
But I was not even looking at the display. This game, it is
pulled you in?
It is so great to see something so different from Stern.
Yeah.
Like, I was just hitting shots over and over again for no reason. Like shots that weren't even lit because it was so cool.
Yeah.
This shot that would do like a figure eight, and I was like, oh, I'm doing that again, and I'm doing it again. And it was just like, it was so refreshing to see something so different.
I feel like that's what, I feel like, I mean, if you look at like the last couple of Stern releases, I don't want to say they were safe, but they were kind of like more traditional. I mean, John Wick is, I would almost call that a safe game. I mean, as far as, but the shots were actually kind of hard for a lot of people. But when I think that's what excited me the most. When the trailer dropped, I was like, wow, this is what's kind of cool is like I think people believe that Stern being this large company that isn't going to take a risk anymore. Mm-hmm. And Gomez did say in an interview, he's like, look, we can't take risks all the time. We wouldn't be able to do that.
Right.
But this was one where it's like, we felt like this is a good risk to take.
Yeah.
And I'm glad they did because I kind of feel like that's what excited me the most is how unique it looked. And then having like the Sentinel hand break the ramp.
Right.
You got the the danger room and then that wild shot that I don't actually I haven't been able to follow it. Like you shoot somewhere and it kind of goes back around into that danger room, right? But
yes. So there's a shot to the left you hit, and the ball comes like across
it's not an orbit,
across
like
a habit trail, and then comes behind you. Like so, that's a weird feeling. All of a sudden, your ball's like behind the flippers. And that's how you feed the danger room.
So it kind of
like Star Wars.
Yeah.
The premium.
Yeah.
Where it's kind of like that.
And it comes behind you, and then the momentum takes it into that.
Yes.
The danger room.
And this is very cool. If for some reason this never happened when I was playing, but if the ball does not have enough momentum, there's a little break in the habit trail right in between the flippers, and there's a post there. So if the ball doesn't have enough inertia, it'll stop there, fall, hit the post, and pop up above your flippers.
Oh, no way. I did not see that.
Yeah, it's very cool.
That is cool. You know what is a little bit stressful for me, honestly, about that game, and I haven't played it yet? I'm a little stressed out about I don't even know what you call it. I guess it's just like the post they put in the middle. When I played, I haven't, there's some things in pinball I definitely haven't perfected the skill of, and one of those things is like I've gotten a little bit better about being patient, like understanding that like, look, the ball's gonna hit off this flipper and I know it's gonna bounce. Like I understand that, and I'm not gonna just play frantically.
Yes.
But being able to integrate that into the play for me, that I'm actually excited about it because I think it's gonna be a new skill.
Right.
But how did you leverage the post when you played it? Did you feel like you needed to leverage it much? Or?
Well, I was. I didn't have like all day to play this thing, so I didn't even think about it.
Yeah.
And I'm used to playing games with center posts.
Yeah, you guys
have. And
you have a Ghostbusters, right? Yeah.
Yeah,
no.
but We don't have a center post on ours.
Okay, that was a
no,
mod.
Ours is in
Yours
hard
is OG.
mode. Yeah.
Yours would be hard. Yeah.
Yeah. So I didn't even think about it. I didn't try to get any saves off of the post. But it's cool that it's there, and I think you're gonna dig it.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm excited. I like can't wait. When do you think you guys are gonna get it?
Probably
be late, right?
Probably right at 3 weeks, because I think they're doing the LEs now, and those are going to ship first, and then they're going to do the pros. Yeah,
Okay.
we'll be over there as soon as you get it. Yeah.
I know. That's what he said right away.
Yeah.
He's like, so Rachel and I, it's like open invite to come over. I'm like, heck yeah, man, come over.
And we'll have Avatar here in just
soon,
a little over a week. Yeah, it already shipped from the factory.
So I'll be able to play it before Expo.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right. Do you guys think will you incorporate it into tournament play right away, or will it be one that?
We probably will.
Yeah.
Because when we all played it, I mean, there were good players playing it at the factory, and it seemed very stable.
Yeah. But you guys do have to be conscious of, and I know. I heard on an episode you were talking about it. Like, you're very well thought out on when you group games into arenas, like that you're not putting like longer. You can't have too many of the longer ball games as part of that.
The same
that
round.
Tournament. Yeah,
Right. We'll do one round with long playing games, and then the next round with shorter playing games, and alternate. I would put this initially in a longer playing game, a longer playing round, and then just see how it all ends up.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did anything like surprise you about X-Men? Like, was there anything about it that you were like, oh wow, I didn't think this or that, or?
The whole thing surprised me. Like when you play it, you're going to be surprised. You're going to feel. I mean, these shots, there's nothing like it. The danger room is so cool.
Okay. Do you think that it's going to do you think it's going to shock people at Expo? Like, wow, because it is very different. I mean, it's a pretty far departure from like the last.
I think it's going to shock everybody everywhere. Yeah, because it's just so wildly different. Right. I mean, having that whole area, no left out lane, but like a whole nother play field.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So this is that I did not ask him beforehand. So like a Cale prediction, and this isn't big to like because I know whatever.
Right.
At Expo, which one do you think will be like the hit of Expo? Because they're both going to draw a lot of people, obviously. But
X-Men.
You think so?
Yeah, 100%.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, because nothing against Mark Seiden, great guy, but Jack Danger is just so popular and loved in this industry, and that makes a huge difference.
Yeah. I'm so excited to see it. Another thing too is I think they'll probably unfortunately, economies of scale or whatever you want to call it. I know Stern will probably have a lot more of their X-Men games, so I hope Jersey Jack does bring more, because I kind of want to. Problem I have with shows is that sometimes you just can't get enough time on it, to really leave there going, I love it, That's how I felt about Labyrinth last year.
I was about to bring that up.
Yeah,
like the line, I've never seen anything like it. But they only had 3 games?
Yeah, they only had many of them.
And also, I think you're going to see all of the manufacturers outdo anything that's happened before, because this is such
40th.
It's a special expo. Yeah, you're going to see more games. You're going to see more of whatever they're doing, lights. It's going to be something special. Yeah.
I think So if you guys, if you're listening to this or watching it on YouTube, and if you're really into pinball or you're just getting into it, I mean, I haven't been to every pinball expo there is like. I know people like Texas Pinball Festival. Some people like that one out in Allentown. I mean,
so cool.
So they're favorites, but the thing is, being in Chicago in the heart of all of it, I just feel like there's something special about that.
Yes.
And there's always people from the manufacturers walking around. So, and they always want to talk to you. Like last year, I was really, even though I know I'm in a little bit of a group on my own on this, I was really excited about Venom. I enjoy Venom, and I know there are people that don't, because it's a fan layout, and some people just feel like that's like maybe something that they've done too much. But when I talked to Brian Eddy, he was so stoked to hear about like my feedback on his game. And there's tons of people going to be walking around like that. Like if you like John Wick, Elliot Eisman will be there. You can go talk to him. Or if you like Foo Fighters, Jack will be there. So that was the thing. I think that's the thing that really got me about Expo. That community is all there. The players, the designers, the artists. So it's kind of like the best place to be.
It's like if you're in the basketball and you go to a convention and Michael Jordan wants to talk to you. I mean, these are, you can go hang out with Keith Elwin, Jack, all the boys. And that's a very special thing.
How did I leave him out? And Elwin. Sorry. Like, seriously, like, wow.
Wason. You can't leave out Wason.
I'm excited for this year. So, anything else before we close it out? Anything you want to talk about? Anything going on in the bat? Or
I tell you what, check out. Rachel and I just recorded a electric bat cast, and I'm going to drop that sometime tonight. I don't know when you're going to drop this thing.
Right, so we need to talk about that because I'll probably want this to come out after that. So if you're going to do it tonight, then I'll have this come out. Later on.
Do your thing. Do whatever you want.
All right.
Yeah. I want this out as quick as possible because people need to hear about these games. Yeah. I'm not worried about drops or anything like that. Yeah. But there'll be some information in there about the 6th anniversary tournament we're having here. So it's going to be a big tournament.
Okay.
And they'll have dates and times and how you can sign up for that. And that'll all be in that podcast. Is that an official
tournament then? That'll be an official tournament?
Big time IFPA tournament.
Sweet. I'm now I'm ranked. It's not very good, but I'm on there.
Good deal.
I'm on the board.
You got to keep going.
I know, I really do. It's kind of, what's crazy? It's kind of a little addicting. Like
it is.
Because I'll check like if the scores aren't updated, I'm like, what the hell? Like why am I still 39,452?
Right. People love that, man.
I'm not very good at tournament play though, Cale. Like it's the pressure gets to me, and what'll really piss me off is I have fun. Like I have fun because the community's so cool, and then I go home, and then I play and post like the game. Like let's say I played Godzilla in the tournament, I will biff it big time, and then I go home and play the best game I played. It's a different kind of thing.
It is night and day. I mean, being in a tournament and being able to perform well during competition, it's mental.
It totally is. It's all
really
mental for me, 100% all mental. But anyway, so all right, so you guys got the anniversary coming up.
Yep.
You guys will be at Expo, so you can go up and go talk to Cale and Rachel. Yep. Rachel will be there with you, and then try to think, what else is going on? And then we might possibly get another new game at Expo, maybe.
That's what I'm hearing. Yeah, I don't know what it is.
How's that even happening?
I don't know. I know.
How's that even possible?
There's a game that's not even on the streets yet, and next month we're going to see another one.
I know, and who knows what Barrels of Fun and Spooky might do? They might show up with something too.
And maybe even American. Who knows?
I don't know about that.
It's going to be a very exciting Expo.
I gotta say, Cale, I was really nervous to film this with you today because I had a work event before this.
Okay.
It wasn't a work event, it was a work meeting.
Uh-huh.
And it was at, this may be because you said American Pinball, it was at a barbecue place. They didn't have the game though. This must have been the one barbecue joint that they did not sell a barbecue game to.
You've played it. Yeah, we played it in Chicago. Yeah.
But it was Lucille's in Tempe Marketplace.
Oh yeah.
And the reason I was so nervous is because I don't eat like I used to. I'm trying to watch. I'm trying to be good. And then I got you, you're like a MMA fighter now, so I gotta care about my health a little bit. And this guy, I said I wanted the 2 meat thing, and he said he only had the dinner. So he throws his plate in front of me, and it's like a mound of meat. So I thought I'm gonna go in here, meat sweats. I'm gonna be all
it's like 4,000 calories.
Yeah. Oh man, but you made it easy, dude.
You look good.
Thank you. Well, thanks, man. This was so much fun. I hope we get to do it again. Maybe we could do one at Expo. It'd be cool. I thought it'd be fun.
That'd be very cool
at Expo to put a lot of people after the day and kind of like a breakdown of the day. I think that'd be fun for people.
That would be very good.
Especially
Please bring your gear.
Yeah. No, I totally will.
Yeah.
All right, man. Well, that's it.
Thank you, Ralph.
I might hang out and play. It's at what? I got 2 more hours. You probably have to do some stuff, don't you? You have to get some stuff ready.
Well, we're having a small, just for fun tournament here. Something our friend Chewy's been doing. It's called Chewy's Bats Night Out, and he switches it up all the time with all kind of weird components. It's not just a straight real competition. Well, there's a team play. Okay. We get 3 people,
all right,
and one person plays the first ball, one person plays the second ball, one person anchor and plays the third ball.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
There's that, and he does a split flipper tournament.
Is that part of tonight too, or not split tonight?
No, tonight is team play.
Tonight's just the team play. Okay.
But I forgot to mention. You mentioned learning when you're playing, learning how to relax.
Yeah.
One thing that Keith Elwin told me years ago: play with one hand.
Okay.
And it's
Just practice like that? Oh, you mean use one hand for both flippers?
Yes.
Oh.
It slows.
All right.
Seriously, when you get home, do it. Because it slows things down, and you're not like constantly flipping and trying to be fast. And it's one skill that turned me on to.
Yeah, it's funny. Mark, who plays here a lot, and I think some of his games are here too.
Mm-hmm.
He, it was funny. I texted him. I'm like, man, I was all bummed out after this one tournament. I'm like, man, I just suck. I'm quitting the tournaments. He's like, let me just look at how you play. He's like, I think maybe you might just play a little too frantic. And I agree with him. I do. I tend to play a little too frantic. So man, I'll try the one hand thing.
Do it, yeah.
All right, we got to wrap it up only because me being Italian, I'll say goodbye to you like 55 times, and this will be like a 6-hour live stream. So, all right, man. Well, thank you so much. This was awesome.
Thank you,
You're
Ralph.
the man.
Yeah.
Check out Electric Bat if you're in Tempe, and then definitely go to Expo. It's only less than a month away.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
All right. Well, we'll see you at Expo, and thanks for listening. Take care, guys.
Thank you.